have a confession to make to you. I was supposed to start my stand-up comedy career at the last Bright Club, but unfortunately I lost my bottle. But I've got it in time for this performance. I'm doing a master's course. It's the second master's that I've done, and St Andrews is the third university I've been to. I've been telling the lecturers that I'm a mystery shopper for universities, but unfortunately the blackmail tactic hasn't worked yet. I'm hoping that by the time I do my 10th Masters at Cambridge, there won't be any other plausible explanation left and they'll have to give me a distinction. The problem with the course that I'm on is I don't really trust anything I'm learning. I'm doing a psychology conversion. Although my undergraduate degree is in modern languages, French, German and Spanish, what I'd really like to do now is go into molecular neuroscience. Yes, it's not the most logical progression for a languages graduate, but I do still keep my hand in languages. I'm rewriting the French, German and Spanish languages. At least that's what I tell anyone who corrects my grammar mistakes. You know, I thought a languages degree would qualify me for all sorts of things. Travel, communication with the wider world, work in trade and commerce. But no, all I actually end up with are cries of, "Hey Lydia, do your Spanish accent?" And you know, I just want the floor to swallow me up because I am a serious professional person. But sometimes I get quite into it and then I slip into my little French accent. And other times I want things to be very, very efficient and I become very, very charming. But I find that Russian is the one that works best to get me free drinks at the bar. I started learning Russian a couple of years ago, but in the end I found I preferred just putting on the accent, so I gave up the classes. After graduating, I worked as a relationship manager in trade in a bank. I was pretty much like Jen from the IT crowd on Channel 4, except I knew even less about trade than she knew about computers. And that's what got me thinking about psychology, and now I'm doing the master's course. But don't get the wrong idea, I'm not your average student, oh no. For one thing, I have food in spades at home. Most students keep things in bags and boxes, but I'm more of the horticultural type. Over the course of my master's, I've developed something of a perhaps worrying obsession. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I am obsessed with brains, though I don't actually wear this in the street. Because brain science, you see, is teeming with potential. I have written a little song to give you some serious insight into our understanding of the human brain. Take it away! We don't know much about the frontal lobe. We don't know much about the parietal lobe. We don't know much about the temporal lobe. We don't know much about the occipital lobe. But we do know that we don't know much. And we know that if we knew lots more, then this song might actually be a bit informative. I know, you're enlightened. It's marvellous. It's a brainwave. Something's on my mind. My granny had Alzheimer's, so I have a personal interest in the disease. I'm also concerned about its heritability. I've just finished writing an essay on Alzheimer's, and I had 3 takeaways I wanted to share. But I was really hungry, so I ate them all myself. No, seriously, there were 3 things that I learned from my essay. Firstly, it's not very heritable. Secondly, drinking excessive amounts of caffeine decreases your risk of Alzheimer's. And thirdly, it's not very heritable. I was reading for an essay I'm writing at the moment about a recent study that the more mothers lick their babies, the less stressed the babies are for the rest of their lives. Don't know if anyone's heard about this, but it's a pretty big finding. But I should probably mention, before you all rush home and start viciously licking your children, the study was in rats. Given the recent licking spree that Miley Cyrus has been on, I think she's going to be a great mother. I think my interest in genetics stems from my dad. He's called Robert, so as a child I couldn't help but question my paternity when people kept saying to me, "Bob's your uncle." As a child, I wanted to be a psychiatrist. I told my mum and she said she was beside herself, so I diagnosed her with split personality disorder. The lab I'm working in at the moment is having a terrible problem with infanticide. Yes, deep breath. But don't get the wrong idea, it's not neuroscientists going around killing small innocent children. No, it's the mice that we work with. The mothers keep eating their babies ridiculously often. It's such a bad habit. But on the plus side, it saves on the food bill. The lab next to mine are seriously speedy. They say science can be done in a tick. Now, to my mind, fruit flies are one thing, but ticks are just one step too far. When I told my lab colleagues I was going to do a stand-up comedy show, they gave me some stick. The worst part is, I kept it. My master's course is intense. I thought we'd be in a building, but you know what psychologists are like with tarpaulin. No, but seriously, the course I'm doing is very hardcore. I have my work cut out. I brought some examples. So this is my Alzheimer's essay, and my essay on depression. I cut that one out quite carefully. I have a friend called Roger Mickey Patterson. I used to call him Roger, and he got really offended. So I asked him why. He said he didn't like people taking the Mickey out of his name. Don't groan. Ladies and gentlemen, it was bound to happen eventually. I've lost my mind. Thank you very much.